Ready for out. Come on.
Jimmy Fury has a great affection for Labradors. For as he says himself, Labradors are good all-round dogs, both land and water. Nor did we ever hear any expert say otherwise. Jimmy, who lives on the lands of Mount Plunket, on the Roscommon shore of Lough Ree, has his feet firmly on that land, as had his father before him. 40 acres of it that came to the Furies on the division of the old estate in the late 1940s.
Come on.
Like most men who live on the edge of wide waters, Jimmy Fury lives in two worlds, that of farmer and eel fisherman that he once was, which has given him a respect and sympathetic understanding for great bodies of water. Jimmy Fury's father also had a second world at his command, for he did the carpentry and the maintenance and repairs in the big house, Mount Plunket, long since abandoned. But Jimmy lives in a snug little house built for his grandfather, who sailed a great ship for an earlier Mount Plunket landlord, Paddy Graham, who required Grandfather Fury to keep a weather eye on his pride and joy moored out in the bay. Boats and Shannon water are the central song of Jimmy Fury's life. But how did he come to boat building?
We always had a boat, and there'd be a time when you'd have to do repairs on them. So bit by bit you get more daring every day till you decide that it was time to build one. So that's how it happened. A fisherman would build a better boat than a carpenter, because he knows what he wants. He knows the shape she should be, whereas a carpenter goes by straight lines. It's all curves in a boat.
But this is no ordinary boat. This is a thoroughbred in the making, a Shannon 1 design. She came by her name in a successful attempt to standardise open sailing boats of 18 feet on the Shannon waters. The 1 design for the Shannon, or Shannon 1 design. But first the keel, made from finest Irish larch, is brought to the stocks to be held in an unyielding embrace until all is complete. Now the kelson is addressed to the keel. The slot cut through its centre will allow the centre board to be raised and lowered. The stem post is the curved piece that forms the bow of the boat. As this is a class boat, it is built to very exact measurements and specifications. A wooden guide in the roof running the length of the boat is marked off in feet and will give the precise position as to where the mast will be stepped, or in this instance, where the wooden frames used as guides for the planking will be fixed. Boat building is full of ancient and strange naval terminology. The planks are called strakes, the seats thwarts, and so on. The pairs of strakes are cut and tacked together temporarily to be worked as one, creating identical twins. The kelson, the strip of wood nailed to the keel, is there to give a solid ground for the first pair of strakes, temporarily held in place by a simple but effective wooden clamp, an extra inanimate pair of hands. Though a bachelor, Jimmy is not without a family.
I have two brothers and two sisters. The two sisters are married close by. One brother is in England, and Paddy is retired out of the Navy. He's living here with me now and helping me with the boat building. He gardens and does the cooking.
It takes 6 weeks for Jimmy to build a Shannon, but that 6 weeks can stretch when there's haymaking or cattle to be attended to.
There was two chaps from England, Graham Goodwin and Graham Pearce. I built rowboats for them. So they were thinking of buying a sailboat. There's a family over there that live beside them by the name of Mayans. They had a Shannon 1 design. So the Mayans influenced them to get a Shannon. So they came across here and asked me would I build a Shannon. I never built one before, so I said I would. So I didn't know what I was letting myself in for at the time, so I didn't. But that's how I happened to get into building Shannon. That was in 1970, so it was. So I'm at it since.
Walter Leving was the first builder of Shannons.
Walter Leving, he was the one that used to build all the Shannons up to then. And I had to get the chain plates and the pencils. So you had to make up patterns for them. And Walter obliged me by getting them for me. So Walter, he was very helpful. Any advice, any help you needed, Walter wouldn't keep it from you. So I have a lot to be grateful to him for. He was a lovely gentleman, so he was.
The first Shannon, number 32, was built by Walter Leving in the winter of 1921 to 22. Walter was to go on building Shannons for the rest of his working life, 60 boats or more, until his death in October 1982. The sheer strake completes the 11th plank on each side of the hull. Jimmy has been soaking laths of oak in the lake for a few days to make them supple. Poor Paddy, a decent man, has been dragged away from his leeks and cabbages to lend a hand at this stage of the boat building. The turf is from their own bog. It's amazing what Jimmy can achieve single-handed, but there are some aspects of boat building that call for two pairs of hands. An old metal pipe acts as a steam pipe to boil the oak laths for the boat's ribs. The boiling water and steam will make the wood flexible and easily managed.
There's 8 or 9 in there.
Yeah, well, we'll keep going. I think it will put in there.
Right. You want to get some more ribs in here?
Yeah, right.
Will it take many more?
The initial soaking in the lake was to speed up this stage, but it will take an hour or so.
Boil them anyway.
I hope they're better than the last ones. That's as many as it.
I'll keep it going for a while anyway. Right.
Are you ready, Paddy?